So before we even get into anything, we've got Psycho, the DVD. I'm not going to pull that out because it'll fall. We've got Friday the 13th, 1 to 12. We've got them all there. We've got The Road Warrior, Scarface, Star Wars Trilogy on DVD, Lord of the Rings Trilogy, Shrek 1 to 4, the Spider-Man Trilogy, Indiana Jones VHS, Star Wars VHS, and up there, Alien and Aliens. And over here in the back, you can slightly see X-Men First Class. Let me go this way, and Seinfeld. So that's just some other miscellaneous things that I've shoved together up there. Some duplicates, some just things that I don't have anywhere else. So we'll move on to the shelf now. All right, so you can see I put these makeshift created signs up there. So we've got Me, Myself, and Irene, Shallow Hal, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Liar, Liar, The Truman Show, Clerks, Clerks 2, Zack and Miri, Make a Porno, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Cool Off, The World's End, gonna be Gary King, Austin Powers trilogy, so International Man of Mystery, Spy Who Shagged Me, Goldmember, The Sandlot, perfect coming of age movie, 21-22 Jump Street, Wet Hot American Summer, one of the funniest movies ever in my opinion, Mrs. Doubtfire, Jumanji, Hook, Weekend at Bernie's, top 5 for me comedy-wise, Uncle Buck, Great Outdoors, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, all 3 John Candy movies you can't go wrong with, Weird Science, love it, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I used to take a lot of days off like Ferris, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, love that as well, Beverly Hills Cop 1, oh, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, The Goonies, Groundhog Day, Tommy Boy, Blazing Saddles, Caddyshack, and European Vacation, Dazed and Confused, Raising Arizona, oh, don't you know Fargo, Big Lebowski, I can get you a toe by 12, The Wizard of Oz. This is not a comedy, but I have this here because there's definitely some comedic elements. I mean, if you're watching it stoned. Shrek 1 to 4. Love some Shrek. Open Season. Ice Age. Ice Age The Meltdown. Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Megamind. Kung Fu Panda. Madagascar. Madagascar Escape to Africa. Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Flick Lockwood. Wreck-It Ralph. Tarzan. Toy Story 1 to 3. Finding Nemo. I don't know why that's backwards, but it is what it is. The Incredibles. Not happy, Bob. Not happy. Ratatouille. Cars. Monsters, Inc. And Monsters University. So that was my animated / comedy. Now we'll move on to my next shelf. So this doesn't have anything because there's no real name for this shelf. It's just I put a lot of great movies together. True Romance, which is definitely one of my favorite Tarantino scripts. Reservoir Dogs. Pulp Fiction, which is backwards. Kill Bill 1 and 2. Grindhouse. Love the faded look on this. So that's Planet Terror and Death Proof. Inglourious Bastards. Django Unchained. The Hateful Eight. Lone Survivor. Jarhead. Black Hawk Down. Fury. Full Metal Jacket. Oh, me so horny. Platoon. Schindler's List. Troy. You sack of wine. Kingdom of Heaven. 300. Alexander. In my opinion, it's just like a complete underrated movie. I don't care what anybody says. We Were Soldiers. Apocalypto, another under-the-radar movie that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. I love Mel Gibson's directing. Patriot, speaking of Mel Gibson. Braveheart. Ooh, got a hair sticking out. Gladiator. Are you not entertained? I'm not by Gladiator 2, I can tell you that much. Saving Private Ryan. Forrest Gump. The Godfather. Godfather Part 2. American Beauty. Heat. Collateral. My favorite Michael Mann movie. Carlito's Way. I almost called it Al Pacino's Carlito's Way. Scarface. My favorite Pacino movie by far. Donnie Brasco. It's basically Fast and Furious without the cars. Taxi Driver. Raging Bull. Goodfellas. Casino. Gangs of New York. The Departed. She fell funny. Shutter Island. The Wolf of Wall Street. Diamond Donnie Azoff. My favorite characters. Blood Diamond. The Revenant. Titanic. The Usual Suspects. Prestige. No Country for Old Men. The Green Mile. The Shawshank Redemption. Training Day. Fight Club. We don't talk about Fight Club. Primal Fear. American History X. Warrior. $1 Million Baby. The Fighter. Gran Torino. Yeah, get off my lawn. Gone Baby Gone. The Town. And Argo. So that is my shelf of just really good movies. Really no genre to it. We'll move on to the next shelf. Alright, so this is my franchise shelf. It's really, I mean, it's pretty simple. But this whole chunk, I can't even put my hands on all of it, is all James Bond. So it's pretty simple. Just one big franchise for one part of the shelf, and then the rest is just an assortment of others. So let's just get into it. Dr. No, the first James Bond. It's so tightly packed. Let me pull one of these movies out over here. Then we can just have easier access. From Russia with Love. Goldfinger. Thunderball. You Only Live Twice. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Live and Let Die. The Man with the Golden Gun. The Spy Who Loved Me. Moonraker. For Your Eyes Only. The Living Daylights. License to Kill, which is my favorite James Bond. GoldenEye. Tomorrow Never Dies. Pierce Brosnan's my favorite Bond besides Timothy Dalton. The World Is Not Enough. Die Another Day. Casino Royale, which is everybody's favorite for some reason. I can't understand it. Quantum of Solace. Another hair sticking out of the movie. Skyfall. Spectre. And that's the last Bond I will ever own. I'm never going to own the one that came out after that. The Bourne Identity. My favorite Bourne movie. The Bourne Supremacy. The Bourne Ultimatum. Men in Black. The movie up here is Men in Black 2. Just keep that up there for now. Men in Black 3. Pirates of the Caribbean. Curse of Black Pearl. Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead Man's Chest. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Jurassic Park, one of the best blockbuster movies of all time. The Lost World, one of the worst sequels in my opinion. Jurassic Park 3. Ooh. The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. It's a very fun movie. The Mummy Returns. Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. The Star Wars prequels, depending on when you grew up. You love these or hate these. I'm in the middle on them. The original trilogy. Mwah. Indiana Jones Complete Adventures. Some of my favorite movies ever. Back to the Future, my favorite trilogy ever. Move this over here now. Harry Potter collection, so this is 1 to 8. I gotta dust off my movies. Lord of the Rings, theatrical versions. These are the ones that I prefer watching. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It's my favorite of the new trilogy. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And War for the Planet of the Apes. The Mad Max saga. Lethal Weapon, 1 to 4. Terminator. T2 Judgment Day. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. Terminator Salvation. People hate this movie, and I think it's a pretty damn good sequel, all things considered. Rocky 1 to 5. I think maybe, no, it's 1 to 6. I love these movies so much. I love Rocky. First Blood. First Blood Part 2. Rambo 3. One of the best return to forms ever. Rambo 2009. And Rambo Last Blood. So that is that shelf, the franchise shelf. And we'll move on to my horror shelf now. Alright. Got It, the miniseries. It Chapter 1. It Chapter 2. John Carpenter's Halloween. Rob Zombie's Halloween. Halloween 2, Rob Zombie. Nightmare on Elm Street collection. We need an updated box set. We need a real box set for this. Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake. Ugh. Friday the 13th, 1 to 8. Freddy vs. Jason. Friday the 13th, the remake, the Killer Cut edition. Child's Play. Child's Play 2. Child's Play 3. Scream Trilogy. Scream 4, Psycho, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead Remake, 2013, Joyride, my favorite Paul Walker movie, American Psycho, Pet Sematary, the one from the 80s, Beetlejuice, Ghostbusters, 84, Ghostbusters 2 gets too much hate. I don't care what anybody says. Gremlins. Gremlins 2, the new batch. Jaws. Peter Jackson's King Kong. Kong Skull Island. Godzilla 2014. The Thing. They Live, one of my favorite movies ever. The Fly. Pure body horror. Alien Anthology, so that's 1 to 4. Alien vs. Predator 1 and 2. I don't really love either of these movies, and somehow I got a hair just sticking out of that. That's what happens when you've got dogs, people. Don't have them. Predator. Predator 2. Dracula. Or sorry, I should say Bram Stoker's Dracula. The Lost Boys. Interview with the Vampire. From Dusk Till Dawn, Van Helsing, Frankenstein, 1931, The Invisible Man Collection, The Wolfman Collection, Wolfman 2010, An American Werewolf in London, Teen Wolf, Carrie, The Shining, it's my top 10 of all time, The Exorcist, my favorite horror movie ever. Stir of Echoes. Final Destination. Poltergeist. Poltergeist 2 and 3. So maybe I go back on this. I think The Shining is my favorite and Exorcist is second. And not that anybody cares, but that's just, it's going to bother me forever. Silence of the Lambs. Red Dragon. I love me some Hannibal Lecter. And Christine. So that is my horror shelf. And we will move on to my comic book / superhero shelf. Alright, so ignore these movies up here. I use these as a buffer. These are all either movies I already have duplicates of, or I just hate them, like The Bye Bye Man. I don't know why I own it. Don't ask. Sin City. Unbreakable. Love me some Unbreakable. Split is definitely my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie. And Glass was just a letdown. Kick-Ass is awesome. Not a big fan of the sequel. Kick-Ass 2. Blade. Blade 2. Blade Trinity. The Punisher. Thomas Jane. Daredevil with Ben Affleck. Ghost Rider and Hellboy. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. Fantastic Four, 2000, I think that was 4. Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield. Amazing Spider-Man 2. I love those movies. I don't care what anybody says, I just love Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. Spider-Man trilogy, obviously I prefer Tobey, but, you know, guilty pleasure. Hulk. The Incredible Hulk, which is one of my best, one of the best MCU movies. Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, First Captain America, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Captain America: Civil War, Thor, Thor: The Dark World, Thor: Ragnarok, The Avengers, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Avengers: Infinity War, Avengers: Endgame, which is a huge letdown for me, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy. I should just mention this up here, Ant-Man, which usually sits right there. I just had to have that out so I could slide movies out easier. Guardians 2, X-Men 1 to 4, X-Men: Days of Future Past, X-Men: Apocalypse, X-Men: Dark Phoenix. I don't even know why I own it. X-Men: Origins Wolverine, one of my biggest guilty pleasures. The Wolverine, Logan, Deadpool, Deadpool 2, V for Vendetta, The Watchmen, Constantine, Suicide Squad 2016, Batman 1989, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Joker, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Superman Returns, and Superman the movie. So that is my superhero / comic book shelf, and we will move on now to my last shelf, my last shelf on this shelf. Alright, so this is my sci-fi section in here. We've got Star Trek 2 to 4, I believe. So that's the trilogy of movies. Star Trek: The Final Frontier. Star Trek: Undiscovered Country. So we've got the Next Generation movies right there. So I'm not even going to name all of them because I've never seen any of them. I'm not going to lie to you. I have them for like a rainy day occasion. Star Trek 2009. Star Trek Into Darkness. Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2049. Did I skip over a movie? I did. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. 2001: A Space Odyssey. The must-watch. A Clockwork Orange. It's a different must-watch for a different reason. Apollo 13. Stargate. The Matrix. Matrix Reloaded. Matrix Revolutions. E.T. Vodome. Tron Legacy. Interstellar. Inception. Avatar. The Martian. Elysium. The Fifth Element. Ex Machina. Tear up the dance floor. Starship Troopers. Johnny Rico. RoboCop. Stay out of trouble. RoboCop 2. Labyrinth. I love Labyrinth. Clash of the Titans. This should say sci-fi / fantasy because a lot of these in the middle are just fantasy. You'll see here. War of the Worlds. Probably the last good Spielberg movie in my opinion. Again, excuse the hair. That's what happens when you have animals. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Waterworld, Vapor, Princess Bride, Poison Scene's one of my favorites ever. Big Trouble in Little China is one of my favorite movies ever. I could watch this on loop forever. Dirty Harry, 1 to 4. Well, do you punk? The Fugitive, U.S. Marshals, Copland, Demolition Man, Conan 1 and 2. So, little Conan collection there. Commando, the Steam Bennett, Running Man, Total Recall, True Lies, the Spanish Blu-ray. It's the only way you can get the Blu-ray in good quality. Last Action Hero, Gone in 60 Seconds, Lord of War, Con Air, put the bunny back in the box. I want to take his face off. Face Off, The Rock, The Island, Speed, Cans. It was just Cans. Point Break, one of my favorite movies. Roadhouse, Thought You'd Be Bigger. Young Guns, Tombstone, There Will Be Blood. I take a milkshake and I drink it up. Unforgiven, which I'm rewatching tonight. Don't ask why, but I'm doing it. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and 3:10 to Yuma. So that is my action/western and my sci-fi/fantasy, which is what that should say. So we'll move on to the next shelf. All right, we got Mission Impossible 1 to 5, Mission Impossible Fallout, Transporter 1, Transporter 2, Transporter 3, Expendables, Expendables 2, Expendables 3, Transformers, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers Dark of the Moon, Transformers Age of Extinction, The Fast and Furious, the first one, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious, the fourth one, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Steelbook, Furious 7, Fate of the Furious, F9, Chronicles of Riddick, Independence Day, White House Down, Die Hard 1 to 4, Bad Boys 1 and 2, The Italian Job, Smokey and the Bandit, Escape from Alcatraz, Universal Soldiers, Hard Target, Deep Impact, Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow, Twister, The Dark Crystal, Karate Kid 1984, Red Dawn, Cinderella Man, Risky Business, Rain Man, Top Gun, The Last Samurai, Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan, Warriors, Midnight Express, Boys in the Hood, End of Watch, Ocean's 11, Killing Them Softly, Dallas Buyers Club, Edward Scissorhands, Drive, Nightcrawler, Good Will Hunting, Social Network, The Great Gatsby, and Good Morning Vietnam. So I don't really have a name for that shelf. It's mostly action / like drama on this half. So we'll move on to the next shelf. This one's half comedy, half I'd say drama as well. Alpha Dog, which it's a comedy. I know it's dark, but there's a lot of comedy there. Space Jam, The Other Guys, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, Dodgeball. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Spaceballs, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Night at the Museum 1 and 2, Night at the Museum 3, This Is the End, Super Bad, Knocked Up, Pineapple Express, Observe and Report, The Hangover, Hangover Part 2, Hangover Part 3, Hot Tub Time Machine, Tropic Thunder, Waiting, Swingers, The Dream Team, The Burbs, Paul, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Get Him to the Greek, Skin Deep, Hugo, so this is where it kind of splits into a different category now. The Bridge to Terabithia, Ready Player One, The Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, Moneyball, The Perfect Storm, Enemy of the State, Flags of Our Fathers, Everest, Patriot Games, Clear and Present Danger, Swordfish, Memento, Falling Down, truly great movie, Seven, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Doors, that's a good Val Kilmer performance, Dirty Dancing, The Bodyguard, Captain Phillips, Patriots Day, 127 Hours, it's a tough one to watch, Pain and Gain, again, that should probably be in the comedy section, Jack Reacher, John Wick, Kingsman: The Secret Service, Crank 1 and 2, Walking Tall, Taken, and Wanted. So now we're on to the next shelf. Old School, Wedding Crashers, Drill Bit Taylor, Yumi and Dupree, The Other Guys, Starsky and Hutch, There's Something About Mary, Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, Zoolander, Along Came Polly, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy, 50 First Dates, The Longest Yard, Click, Chuck and Larry, Don't Mess with the Zohan, National Security, Benchwarmers, Just Friends, Bruce Almighty, Very Bad Things, In Bruges, Animal House, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Role Models, Harold and Kumar 1 and 2, The Ringer, American Pie 1 to 4, some of my favorite movies ever, Bill and Ted, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, Super Troopers, Wayne's World 1 and 2, Vacation 1 to 4, Encino Man, Weasel, Hot Rod, Run Fat Boy Run, What Women Want, Big, St. Elmo's Fire, 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, Adventures in Babysitting, What About Bob, The Nutty Professor, Beverly Hills Cop 1 to 3, My Cousin Vinny, Fletch, Happy Gilmore, and Mallrats. Alright, on to the next shelf. 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, Dawn of the Dead, the remake, Land of the Dead, Zombieland, Cabin Fever, Stigmata, The Frighteners, Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2, I Am Legend, The Hills Have Eyes remake, 30 Days of Night, Saw 1 and 2, Hostel 1 and 2, Paranormal Activity 1 to 3, Cloverfield, The Ring, Sleepy Hollow, Signs, Red Eye, Gone Girl, it's backwards, Panic Room, Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, Butterfly Effect 1 and 2, Halloween H2O and Resurrection, Disturbia, Carriers, Bone Tomahawk, 50 horror classics. So there's just a bunch of different horror movies on here, from Night of the Living Dead to they're not in very good shape, but you can see some of the movies in the back. You get the gist. Get back in there, you bastard. And now it came undone. The Wrestler, Passion of the Christ, Zodiac, Monsters Ball, True Grit, 48 Hours, Another 48 Hours, Backdraft, Cobra and Tango and Cash, This is where the law ends and I begin, Air Force One, Vertical Limit, made my hand sweat, A Few Good Men, You Can't Handle the Truth, Days of Thunder, Minority Report, The Outsiders, Aviator, The Rundown, Desperado, Beowulf, which is really an underrated Bob Zemeckis movie, Man in the Iron Mask, Casualties of War, Shooter, and the remake of The Mechanic. On to the next shelf. Alright. The Good Son, Contagion, another copy of Constantine, Mission to Mars, The Red Planet, Knockaround Guys, The Scorpion King, Pitch Black, Triple X, Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Death Race, Faster, Shanghai Noon, Flight Plan, The Illusionist, Phone Booth, The Beach, The Girl Next Door, Rounders, Wild Things, Last of the Mohicans, Mystic River, The King of Comedy, Awakenings, Footloose, Ghost, Romancing the Stone, Jewel of the Nile. So you can see I need to really reorganize this whole section. None of these have anything to do with each other, really. Basic Instinct, When Harry Met Sally, Meet Joe Black, Almost Famous, Stand By Me, Walk the Line, The Virgin Suicides, Ray, Vanilla Sky, Jerry Maguire, A Beautiful Mind, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Hoosiers, I can never get it right, Karate Kid again, Karate Kid 2, Karate Kid 3, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Mud, Jackie Brown, Master and Commander, National Treasure, National Treasure 2, and Speed Racer and Young Guns 2. That's to round off this shelf. Now we'll move on to my last couple shelves. So we've just got a few movies stopgapped here. This is mostly my girlfriend's shelf. Eagle Eye, Brick Mansions, the RoboCop remake, Dune, the 80s Dune, Extract, Bucket List, 50-50, Love Guru, Robots, SpongeBob the Movie, Scooby-Doo 1 and 2, Good Burger, Are We There Yet?, Big Fat Liar, Like Mike, and from here on out, they're all hers. Mamma Mia, Marley and Me, Pitch Perfect, Pitch Perfect 2. Well, actually, that's a lie. Big Mama's House is mine, but I let her borrow it. That Awkward Moment, Bedazzled, Bring It On, Made in Manhattan. 10 Things I Hate About You. I actually like this movie, I'll be completely honest. Nim's Island, Princess Diaries 2, The Proposal, The Lake House, How Do You Know, Failure to Launch, Charlie's Angels, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, She's All That, Down to You, The Last Song, Step Up, Crazy Stupid Love, 17 Again, Hairspray, The Notebook, The Time Traveler's Wife, He's Just Not That Into You, Miss Congeniality, Miss Congeniality 2, Valentine's Day, High School Musical, High School Musical 2, Confessions of a Shopaholic, School of Rock, The Devil Wears Prada. That's actually another pretty alright movie, all things considered. Sex and the City, Sex and the City 2, Romeo and Juliet. It's 13 going on 30. We got a piece of hair there. Again, welcome to having dogs. And what is this last one? Oh, Legally Blonde 1 and 2. Alright, we've got one more full shelf to show. So I've only got one more shelf to show, but I've just got the shelf with my Jumanji board on it. I've got Superman, Rocky, Friday the 13th on DVD, and Jason X, and then I've got a few other miscellaneous movies over there that you can see. But this is right, I'm sitting on my bed currently. This is right next to where I sleep. And here we go. Let's just get into it. So we've got Rush, Drive, and Hit and Run. We've got Three Stooges, Juno, Green Hornet, Sex Drive, Hotel Transylvania, Ted, Youth in Revolt, Goon, Hall Pass, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Nothing to Lose, I Love You Man, Stranger Than Fiction, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, Land of the Lost, Semi-Pro, Man of the House, Happy Feet, The Pacifier, Hot Chick, Guess Who, Still Waiting, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Dukes of Hazzard, Starsky and Hutch. Honestly, that can just go up here. I don't know why that's already not up here. Or somewhere else, because it doesn't fit. I don't even need it on the shelf, because I have both of them on the shelf already. So Dukes of Hazzard, The Breakup, Couples Retreat, Definitely Maybe, Blades of Glory, She's Out of My League, My Best Friend's Girl, Dan in Real Life, All of Me, Funny People, Jackass, Jackass 2, Jackass 2.5, Jackass 3, Family Guy Star Wars Trilogy, right there. We've got the Stewie Griffin Untold Story, Robot Chicken Star Wars, and now it's my little Christmas section here. The Grinch Stole Christmas, Jingle All the Way, put that cookie down, A Christmas Story, A Christmas Vacation, some of my favorites, Home Alone, Home Alone 2, It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, Scrooged, and Batter Santa. Now we can just quickly go through some of these up here, because these are, they're here. Now You See Me, Sully, Hurt Locker, Pursuit of Happiness, Brokeback Mountain, 2012, Bone Cop, Bad Cop, Cannonball Run, Hearts War, got two Dumb and Dumber movies, Jungle Book, Neighbors, Incredible Hulk TV movies, Terminator Genesis, Into the Blue, The Croods, Hot Rod, again, that's an HD DVD copy, Pacific Rim, The Last Jedi, Rogue One, Force Awakens Steelbook, Anchorman 1 and 2, American Pie Bandcamp, Paranorman, Joe vs. Volcano, Chris Farley Collection, SNL, Good Luck Chuck, Cyrus, Accepted, and then a bunch of old westerns that I found that I haven't really gotten around to watching yet, but I will someday. I know I will when I'm bored. Miss March, Training Day, and Fallen. Fallen was not good. Heartbreak Kid, Switch, Taxi, The Happening. It's one of the worst M. Night Shyamalan movies. Haywire, Splice, Bobby Z, Howard the Duck, Daddy's Home, American Crude, Pinocchio, and Euro Trip. So that pretty much sums up my collection for right now. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll be back talk about this in the next 6 months or something when I have more movies that I've collected. So enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.